月明人，是水晶兮香。君谁？ It's just slightly past 6 p.m. now, and I'm going to try to buy a ticket for Pingtan performance tomorrow. Pingtan is a kind of oral performance art in Suzhou, which is very famous. And the performance format of Pingtan is very simple. It's just two people. One as the main performer, the other one plays the musical instrument. It's either sanxuan or pipa. And a few years back, probably around 10 years back, there was a very famous Chinese movie, 金陵十三钗, and in that movie there is a very famous song as well. 青团要不要买一个？
两个青团，两个南瓜包。青团还有两个有没有？10块钱卖给你4个。
可以放多久啊？
明天。
明天要吃掉是吗？可以，可以，可以。
卖完收工。
你还剩那么多呢？
这新鲜东西明天还能买。
好的。
其实你看得出来的，新鲜的就是这个浅绿色的，有的是暗绿色的，它就可能放了。
哦，
知道了吗？
好，谢谢了。好。I've got some 青团。青团 is also a typical pastry or dessert in Jiangnan area. It's homemade, so I hope it's good. Can you see that? It's made of red bean paste. Wow, today's moon is so beautiful. I hope you can see it. And there's a very famous Pingtan house in Suzhou. It's where we're going. And it's so popular that people are dying to get a ticket from there. And this place do not accept purchasing tickets online, so you have to be there one day before at around 7 p.m. in order to book the tickets for the next day. So it's complicated. The Pingtan house we're going is called pipa, meaning the language of pipa. It's where the Pingtan artist Wu Liang performs regularly. She's now quite famous as one of the performers who recorded the popular song in the movie we just played. Crazy. Second row, that's the best I can get. After 1 hour of queuing, I've got not the best, but at least a good seat for tomorrow. So let's see if the performance is really good or not. If you just want a normal seat, actually you don't have to queue up one day before for the tickets. You can just walk in and get a random ticket. But if you are particularly interested in this performance, it would be better to arrive one day before and get a good ticket. It's already the second day, so we're going to the performance now, 7 p.m. So I still have some time for a dinner. 苏州面馆. Okay, 三虾面 is very famous in Suzhou, so I want to try this. So we are here. Let's see.
你的镜子里面有2帮你安排位置哈。
这个是好，谢谢啊。好。
我们这个是自弹自唱啊，边上是没有琴师。这两把乐器在我们演唱的时候呢，作用是伴奏和衬托。梦好顺，大喜许心美，水东风凉啊，下身上。
After a few rounds of traditional Pingtan performance, Wu Liangying showed up, but with a pop song that was recomposed by herself with the local dialect. Do you like this innovation, or do you prefer the traditional style? So I hope you enjoy the performance. I enjoy it a lot. And for me, I think it's a more friendly performance that we can have in the modern days because it's easier to be understood and it's easier to follow, it's lighter to digest, and the lyrics of this kind of Pingtan is really beautiful. After my first encounter with Pingtan performance, I've become much more curious about this kind of performance art. So I came to the museum of Suzhou Pingtan in Ping Jiang Road. There are different ways of performing the art. The followers of Pingtan used to call the schools of arena by the surname of the founders. And in the beginning, there are three main schools of arena for Pingtan, which are Yu Diao, Ma Diao, Chen Diao. And during the hundreds of years of development, the students of these three big schools studied the way of the performance and developed their own style. And now there are around 27 different schools of arena. It's such a big system, isn't it? Along the Ping Jiang Road, there are quite a few Pingtan houses. They are not as famous as the one we visited before. But how about their performance? Would it be different or even better? This is a playbook. In the old time, the customer come to the tea house and order a play from the playbook. For each play, there is a price on that, and then the performance will begin. But nowadays, there is no more this kind of vibe at the tea house anymore. So customers come into the tea house for the Pingtan performance, and the performance will be arranged in a 1-hour manner, no more orders required.
苏州评弹从明末清初开始到现在已经有400多年的发展历史。苏州评弹起源于苏州，是用苏州方言演唱。玉子松呀，黑玉树啊，还有精彩古卷曲都。
This Pingtan house is called Yang Xinzhai, meaning nourishing the heart. A very experienced Pingtan artist is performing here. Let's call him Mr. Xu. During the break time, I interviewed Mr. Xu for some questions I have. The first question is about the composer of the Pingtan plays, especially the lyrics. Unfortunately, unlike Kunqu, most of the composers of Pingtan plays are not famous or remembered. Because as a folk art, Pingtan thrives on the same techniques of the performance. And in ancient China, most likely the composers are not in the scholar class, hence being easily overlooked. The second one is about the instruments they use. Mr. Xu told me that sanxian and pipa are chosen as the accompanying instruments because they are compact and easy to play when singing. It has been raining for quite some time in Suzhou. Today I've got a very special mission. Since both Kunqu and Pingtan are using pipa as the instrument for the background music, as an instrument player myself, I want to know a bit more about this instrument pipa. So pipa is a Chinese traditional musical instrument with history of over 2,000 years. It dates back to the Han dynasty. It's like a Chinese lute. So I'm wondering how it's actually played and why it's chosen as one of the instruments. Today I signed up for a trial lesson with one of the music school here in Suzhou. I'm visiting my teacher now. I also play instruments myself. I play 2 traditional Chinese instruments, guzheng and guqin. So it might be easy or might be more difficult for me. Let's see. Wow, it's actually quite difficult. I tried it for like 45 minutes, could not get my hands right, like the shape of my hands right for the technique. But at least I know that for different schools of arena of Pingtan, the pipa actually have different tunes or different songs as accompaniments. And I also asked why they chose pipa as the instrument for the accompanist. She told me another reason is because of the pitch of the sound of the pipa. It's actually at higher pitch, and it's a perfect match for another instrument, sanxian, and also a perfect match for the voices of the performance. Suzhou Pingtan only became famous or popular after the movie that we mentioned last time. We can say that thanks to that single movie, people started to appreciate this kind of traditional form of art again. So here we see a combination of the modern art and the traditional art. When thinking about it, Pingtan is basically pop music in ancient China with huge crowds of audience. It's not as elegant as Kunchu, but still has developed beautiful lyrics and singing techniques with faster beats. When I watch Pingtan, I can easily relax and be in that moment. In this aspect, Pingtan is teaching us how to slow down and live in this fast-paced modern life. I hope you enjoyed this episode and look forward to seeing you again. Bye bye!